Going live in just a second. And okay, awesome, guys. I think we're live. Very, very cool.
Cool.
Share this thing around. Okay, I just went ahead and pasted that in our chat.
Okay.
Guess we'll wait for a couple people to pop in and we'll get started.
I see. I love it, Adam, seeing that 7A to pop up
Right. All the time.
all the time.
Gotta love Buffy Bot.
15, 22. Yeah, no, that was epic.
You know, I gotta say, like, the experience of Buffy Bot is so nice because it just takes out all the anxiety from having an NFT launch. And, you know, just to see how seamless it is, it's like, I think it's a standard really at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think it's great, Adam, what you've done there. It's the experience and watching you kind of progress with it, like you know, because it's a process, like to get to what we did with JetChickens took a lot of you know, iterative work and building to, and Adam kind of was just, you know, has been involved in a lot of things to get to that point. Like if you could take like of all the Cardano NFT drops, if you could make a dartboard, right, and you threw some darts at it, the odds that everything would hit something Adam did are pretty high, you know. So if that puts that into perspective, so yeah.
Well, and that was the thing, is to make, you know, an awesome platform. And yeah, it definitely started rough and it got there from the on-chain voting for Spacra, you know, the first listening to dusts and taking an action based on something coming across that way, and building those pieces, and then the Spacecoins faucet, you know, and putting the pieces together and just getting better and better each time, you know, is what it's about. So one thing that I actually admire Elon for is that SpaceX development strategy of put it out there, blow it up, and then make something better. So yeah, that's what we've tried to do. And luckily enough of you crazy NFT making people out there have given me the shot to do that. And here we are. Now we're talking JetChickens and Spacecoins on KAIZN. So
rock on, brother.
Awesome.
Rock on. Yeah.
Rock on.
Hey, I just wanted to say hello to everybody. We got some people in the house. What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for joining. We've got Ada Pilot. What's up, guys? Josh Ackpen. What's up, brother? Got Patrick in the house. Johan. Hey, guys. So, guys, I'm super excited today. We got Kyle and Adam. Need no introduction. You know, these two guys have been in the community for such a while. Really crushing the game. We've got JetChickens, Spacecoins in this live stream. So I'm so excited to get the chance to talk with you guys. Yeah, but guys, thanks so much for joining today. I hope everybody is having an awesome, what is today? Tuesday, right? Tuesday. Nice.
sounds about right.
The days all kind of blurred
One
together.
of those days.
Ada payday today too.
Oh, that's right. It is payday again.
Oh yeah.
Every 5 days, like clockwork.
Like clockwork.
Payday's like money, man. It just does. You can't beat payday. It's great because like it's you don't even know you got paid. You're like, oh, I had 3 paydays. What?
Yeah, I know. Great. And guys, talking about all this cool stuff with NFTs, I guess if you guys wanted to, you know, just share some thoughts on JetChickens, I really like to start there. I think that a lot of people are, you know, looking at all these NFTs and they're like, you know, JetChickens are super cool. What was the, I guess, what was the inspiration behind the idea?
Well, I mean, for me, it was something special that goes back way to when I was a kid. Like me and my buddy, like my boy, you know, I don't remember not knowing this guy. You know, he's like my best friend, my brother. We were JetChickens, man, and that's what it was. And so that's where that comes from. And so it was just a great, to me, it's so stupid. I think it sells. And so that's kind of, I always wanted to do something with it. And, Adam has always, for me, been, like, if you really knew what it was, it's a bad influence. Cause like, when you like say something stupid, you have like good friends that kind of like bring you down or whatever, right? But not Adam. Adam's like, yes, and so, when it just, the conversation started, and then back and forth seeing what he's doing, and watching what's going on with the NFT game too. I mean, I think we're kind of in a bubble in regards, and what I mean by that is there's a lot of projects that it's just like any other kind of token project, if you will. There's good value, and then there's other things that may or may not be valuable. But what we're trying to do is, maybe I was trying to look at it and say, okay, how can we be better? How can we provide more value? How can we potentially service millions of users while preserving rarity, right? And raise the bar and make people feel good about, what they purchased. And so Adam and I just kind of started banging ideas back and forth on that level. And at the same time, Cardano's doing well. My stake pools are doing well. And I started paying guys to like draw chickens. And I started getting all these dumbass looking chickens back. And they were just horrible, and eventually I found a Pakistani woman who started producing pretty good content. She's the one who made the primary game cards, the window licker cards, the majority of those. And then I found her chicken, man. And when I got the first jet chicken back, I dropped it on Adam, and then Adam knew what was about to go down. And then every step of the way, it was just an amazing discovery, because we had this vision. But as we started piecing it together, it was just more and more surprising. And Adam can talk more about his technical journey from the minting side of it. I focused more on the cards and the actual chicken NFT generator. So the actual NFT generated cards, that image formation and what that looks like, that's what I built programmatically. And Adam did the whole sales web front, the minting, getting everything organized. So it's all firing on one transaction, minting the Spacecoins with it. So it's like the bubble gum. And so, but his evolution to that point to be able to get everything, because that's a lot of minting. Everything we mint's on the fly. We're not pre-minting like a lot of, how some projects will just pre-mint right away. And that gives a different rarity. And so what we did with the NFT chickens is we designed it to say, okay, we've got, all these different backgrounds, all these different chickens, all these different necklaces, these different attributes, this different power colors. And then let's give them all these random stuff, like you see like the drippy butt and, just weird shit like that. And some of those are legendary and whatnot. But the thought process is that in relatively low volumes, tens of thousands, you'll have, guys with rare backgrounds combined with rare chickens and maybe rare stats and things like that could be, quite, rare. But as volume increases, you'll find those super ridiculously rare ones. And so that's kind of the idea with the NFT side of it. And then the same concept on the fungible side. There's some cards that still haven't been discovered, and Adam can probably talk about that. I haven't even looked at the stats lately, buddy.
Yeah, well, neither have I, honestly. We did, I think, over 100,000 packs of Jet Chicken in testing beforehand. Just generate a pack, just to prove the point and really make sure that we were going to hit what we wanted to hit in terms of the scarcity of some of those cards, while still giving the good experience. And that's what it was always about. I started with trading cards way back in the 80s, and evolved into Magic the Gathering in the early 90s and things like that. So I always loved that idea of you open a pack and you don't know what's going to be inside of there. And you're always hoping it's the big, the golden ticket, if you will. So from the very beginning, and I think we started talking Jet Chicken back in March. I think it was like shortly after we got the Spacecoins faucet up and running and everything. It was like, hey, let's have this stupid idea and let's try to recreate that experience, and that was one of the things that we wanted to have some rarity, but also give everybody something good. That's why everybody gets rares, everybody gets commons and uncommons, and then everybody's getting to dynamically on the fly generated NFTs as well. So nobody feels shortchanged, hopefully. If you do, then talk to me and we'll probably tell you to go lick a window or something. But, I hope everybody feels that's participated so far, like they got a little bit of that experience, and that's what we've heard a lot of from the community is, wow, this reminds me of opening those Topps cards back in the day. Getting your bubble gum, getting, oh, did I get the Mark McGuire or whatever, and so it's really been cool and fun. And yeah, we had to do a lot to get a tech stack up to that point. We the original Spacecoins faucet, if you will, we seeded it with a bunch of our own bags of Spacecoins and put it on a ton of UTXOs. So when somebody sends something to it, they get one of those UTXOs of Spacecoins back. And then we went, okay, well, we can monitor for dust and we can mint on demand and make a token on demand. But then how do we do multiples? And we're testing how many tokens can we get into a single transaction reliably with all this metadata. So much has gone into building it up to this point, that quite honestly, a lot of the other NFT projects that I've worked on, and I've loved all of them, and there's too many to try to shout them all out right now. But everything was building towards JetChicken. That was always the mission. And I was like, okay, I'm going to add quantity buy. I'm going to add multi tokens. I'm going to add some other stuff that we can do here. Why? To get to JetChicken, because that is where Kyle and I started in this whole NFT space in the first place. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on under the hood that it's really cool. And I do want to learn more about that because you guys, Adam, you've got the Buffy bot, which I feel like has been just game changer for the entire Cardano NFT space. But opening up those packs of JetChickens, it's such an experience. For me, the Kaizen chicken, we were talking about this, but I saw the Kaizen chicken, I was just on cloud nine. I mean, just to see that, I was like, I cannot wait. I want one so bad, just just that experience, that little bit of for the guys who have that thing where it's like, we enjoy the randomness of, we don't know what we're going to get. It's kind of like a box of chocolates. So I really like that. And then of course you get the bubble gum with the Spacecoins, and that's really cool too. So I just enjoyed the experience overall, but it's nice to hear the inspiration behind the idea. As far as what you guys have planned, going forward with it, I mean, is there any type of time restriction? I know, Kyle, you were talking about all the different varieties and, the different combinations, but what does the future look like for the project?
Well, I've already got art contracted, so that's in order. I've got a Volcano World back, Adam. It's pretty cool. And I have 2 chickens on contract, primary NFT chickens. So we're going to push that forward. They are a very well-known community members. So we're going to do an honorary series. I think we're going to get some art ready to go and probably get another series ready to go. But we want to focus on the selling more, obviously, and getting a little bit more exposure. And so we have a game that we would like to deliver, and we want to start that dialogue too, because we left a lot of ends that are open. And we think, there's a few ways we could approach this, because does it really, we're looking at it from a lot of different ways. Does it really make sense to send all your tokens to a smart contract, deck validation, who owns what, that kind of thing. And probably makes sense to work on some sort of proof of wallet holding and have your decks in a certain wallet and things like that. So there's some starting point considerations to consider. And, but I think, I was talking to a buddy of mine who doesn't know anything about Cardano. And he's like, dude, this sounds like something fun to play. Let's print these cards out and we'll play it. So I think that's probably something I might end up doing, is getting some of these actually printed out and then just seeing what's up, and potentially doing that live. But I think that there needs to be some sort of discussion to kind of build a community around the game, because we really do want to draw in users. And so otherwise we would have rushed to market. We would have hyped it out. We would have a policy that ended in a few days, and that's not what we did. And, I think that we really need to figure out how to sell boxes, because I think our bottleneck is the packs, to be honest with you. And so it's good that we went this way too. But I think, if we figure out that technical challenge, and we've got some really good ideas there, how to do that. And in a way that we probably should implement, so other people don't patent it and things like that, so it's out there and it works. And then, that's what we need to do. We need to get past that hump of making it tedious to get JetChickens, because I think that hurt us a lot in the sales. But I think if we solve that problem, then that's something that we could actually benefit from. And then obviously we've got an extended policy. So, really it's about the game, but we're limited in a lot of ways. Do we need Plutus? I don't really think we need Plutus. I think if we can figure out a way to verify that wallets are signed, we can then basically read contents of wallets and basically, pull that into something that we run off chain. Now, if we did something like play for pinks, right? Or, like in a ranked league or something, then maybe it makes sense to kind of do something with Plutus or whatever. But I don't know, Adam, what are you thinking? I'm kind of getting all kinds of crazy ideas right now.
Yeah, no. So that's been it. This has been designed to be a game from the beginning, right? And so we wanted to get the chickens out there. Kyle talked about it a little bit. When I saw that first, like, actual jet chicken, my jaw hit the floor, and I was like, "Wow, we've actually got something special. These aren't just going to be like stupid things that our kids drew with crayons and we mint them as an NFT. This is really going to be high quality art, and people are going to get excited about it. But it's been supposed to be a game from the beginning. That was always in the roadmap. So." What that looks like, we're not 100% sure, but we're gonna start iterating on it. And one thing that I would like to see is that we grow, like Kyle was saying, grow the community and involve the community in building out that game as well. So whether that means we open source the kind of the rule set, and then people can fork it and create their own variants, and how that ends up looking and working. But so yeah, there's a lot of technical challenges that we've seen some other projects start working on. I think Sushi Bites and Cardano Warriors have implemented some basic wallet reading and doing things based on what tokens are in your wallet. And so we're looking at a lot of those projects and seeing what they're doing, to where maybe we can borrow some inspiration from what they're doing. And do we need smart contracts? I don't think so. Like Kyle was saying, we have a lot of things at our disposal that don't really require a smart contract. People seem to think smart contract is the be all end all. But we're both in, or I think maybe all three of us are in the Alonzo Blue network right now. And everything comes with a cost. And so smart contracts are nice, but they increase the cost a little bit. So, that's the other thing that we aimed for with JetChicken was accessibility. That's why you're getting, 10 fungible tokens and 2 NFTs and 100 Spacecoins for free, for a total like 15 ADA. This wasn't about a cash grab, although cash is nice. We want involvement. We want to build a community like we have with Spacecoins, and really go from there.
Nice. Very cool. The chicken fights are coming, guys. I'm excited.
Well, we can talk about the game though, because it's not like we haven't thought about it. Like, we can talk about it, like, for real. So the idea that kind of the high level, I think we'll play it through, is like each team gets like 3 NFT chickens that they're fighting, right? And they use their game cards to figure it out. So each chicken's got like power up slots and power down slots that you can play on them. You can play other players, so you can tart out another player's chicken, or boost up your own chickens. And if the chicken gets dumb enough, then he's more likely to attack his own team, right? Stupid chickens aren't good. And, chicken like dirt chickens more prone to being stupid, things like that. So the chicken type are going to affect, different types of chickens. So the chicken's got an attribute called an oxygen tank. So the thought behind that is when the chicken's dead, he loses his head. But the oxygen tank determines how long he can run around and stay in the fight. But then he's got whippets that he can do to boost his oxygen so he can stay alive longer. But the more whippets he does, makes him more stupid. So there's all kinds of things, I just think we can have a blast with this shit. And so, but there's things like he can do that give him an X% chance of sharding. I don't know what that means. We can work on that together, right? Or, you know, or like the chicken choker, you know, there's a chance he gets caught choking his chicken. I don't know what that means. We can work on that together, you know? So that's kind
awesome.
of the gist of it. Yeah, and there's action cards that you can play on your set on players, and it, you know, sometimes they'll have an effect on you. I mean, so the idea is we're going to try to put this game together. There's going to be loopholes. There's going to be shit that doesn't work. And what we'll need to do is basically either, you know, figure out which cards can't be used because they're too powerful, and more than likely launch a booster pack in parallel that offsets some of the whackness. But we gotta goof around with it, and it's hilarious. I mean, if you haven't seen any of the cards, I mean, do you like the cards? What do you think about the cards?
Oh, the cards are great. I mean, they're not meant to be taken seriously, but you know, you just gotta love the humor behind it. Guys, for everybody in the chat, thanks so much for joining. We got 44 people here. Guys, if you bought JetChickens, drop a like for us. We got Kyle and Adam here talking about JetChickens, Spacecoins. So exciting, so exciting. Yeah, you know, that's one of the nice things about the beauty of like being creative in this space is that you don't really have to you know, like have anything that's so structured or so like rigid. You know, you can really use your imagination, your own creativity. You know, the sky's really the limit with all this kind of stuff, and we're still building. Like it's in the early days of all the functionality. Things are going to get so much easier. Kyle, you mentioned, you know, one of the bottlenecks is just the visibility behind the platform, and I think one thing that I really liked about JetChickens was that you made the barrier to entry so low that it's really more about, you know, building a community, you know, getting more people on board so that they can actually play this game. I mean, I just love the idea. And, you know, just the cool concepts that we're coming up with, derp chicken, you know, just some of these, like all these different upgrades and power ups. It's like, that's just hilarious.
Yeah, the weaknesses are the best. Like the little, you see the weakness on the card, the little weaknesses. Like my favorite's like drippy butt. What's your favorite, Adam?
Oh man, it's so hard to pick. You know, everybody asked me to pick a favorite chicken or something, and I love all the art. I love the different crazy crap we've come up with, you know, and it has been, it's just been a matter of don't take yourself too seriously, you know, like these aren't meant to end up in the Louvre one day or something, you know, or at Christie's. Maybe they will, you know, someday, but we'll see. But, you know, it was about having fun and enjoying it, and getting an experience, you know, and I think every project out there has a little bit of that, but you hear from people that go, wow, you know, I saw this and I went out and I got Cardano to get involved in this project, or these are my first NFTs. I haven't paid for a single other one, but I saw this and I needed to get involved. And I think that's really cool. You know, that's what we started Spacecoins with, you know, back. Now it's been almost 4 months, but it was like, okay, let's make some stupid little tokens that don't mean anything. They're nothing serious, and get people moving them around and trading them and getting used to and familiar and comfortable with how these interactions work. And I think we've knocked that ball out of the park. And JetChickens, you know, it's really been the same thing. Don't take yourself too seriously. You know, none of us are making it out of life alive. So enjoy it while you can.
That's right.
Very true. Yeah, absolutely. You know, just the experience with learning with Spacecoins. I feel like there was quite the learning curve for a lot of people, but then there's so many amazing tools as well to help with the experiences. One thing I would like to say is a big shout out to Smogpool, pool.pm, huge, like just absolutely invaluable in terms of like seeing the tokens, interacting with the blockchain. I mean, I use that tool every day. And, you know, just to see Spacecoins come so far and with the community that it's built, JetChickens, all that kind of stuff. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on some of the things that you plan for with smart contracts. I know we were talking a little bit about the test nets and whatnot, and, you know, it's possible we don't even need smart contracts to really build something cool with JetChickens. But, you know, what are some things that you guys are thinking about with smart contracts and the functionalities that it could have with Spacecoins and JetChickens? Like, would they always work together, or like would other NFTs kind of be incorporated in the game as well? Other fungible tokens? Like what thoughts do you guys have about that?
Yeah, we could do something wild. Like Adam, we could take 2 series, NFT series, right? And like mate them. So if you have a token from one and a token from another, you send it to the smart contract with some ADA. we'll send both tokens back plus a mated whatever of both of them, right?
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations, around that kind of an idea of like an evolutionary, we've seen some people try to pull that off with like Claymates, and I think a few of the other egg type of projects already are doing things like minting and reburning in the background so that token evolves. But who knows, maybe there's going to be JetChicken sushi fights or something, down the road. Or like Kyle said, like we make chicken sushi or something crazy.
Yeah,
you send a sushi bite and a JetChicken, and
I think the easy thing is we just take the next season we do, and we got 2 chickens, and then if you send those 2 chickens together, we'll make a new chicken. Or what we can do for you is if you I think this is what we do, Adam. Let's let people send us 2 tokens, and I don't think we need smart contracts for this if it's trusted. But we could do this. So let's send it. They send 2 tokens, 2 KAIZN chickens, right? That are the stats. And what we'll do is we'll combine and re-roll. Mm-hmm. Right? You're gonna send some damn ADA too. You gotta send 25 ADA with the fucking chicken. And what we'll do is we'll re-roll your KAIZN. We'll give you back your 2 KAIZNs, or we'll combine them and burn them. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Maybe it's cheaper and we'll burn them and we'll give you back a better KAIZN.
Like a mega KAIZN chicken.
Well, no, something that's a little bit better than what you gave us. I'm not going. You ain't gonna treat me like.
That's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool though, right? Like just or get like a KAIZN and a derp, and you got a derpy KAIZN, right? Like something like that.
or doing something like really tricked out and customized, that we've talked about with other projects. Right now we have like these power up cards, right? Like, oh, you got a Chrome space hat, so how do we let you send a KAIZN and a Chrome space hat, and then you get a KAIZN with a Chrome space hat on it or something,
Nice.
And so all of that, it's possible pre-smart contract. We don't need Plutus for it. But again, the thing that smart contracts really do is they take the trust out of the situation. But, I kind of went to the mat for Discord recently. And all the hard work that people have been doing there, setting up these Discord communities and stuff, because I don't think we need to throw the baby out with the bathwater just because we have the smart contracts now. Again, you're talking about introducing cost and potentially layers of complexity and danger at the same time. We saw that already with, a poorly executed contract might lock up or lose ADA. And so luckily we're testing a lot of those things right now, and working those kinks out. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. But, I think we're going to see amazing worlds of things like evolutionary NFTs and experiences that all happen on the blockchain, both with and without smart contracts. And that was the thing. It's again, going back to Spacecoins. The point was, let's show off how cool this is. We don't need an ERC20. We don't need a smart contract to do this, because on Cardano, we can do this natively. So we have all this functionality baked right into the core. And that's what's just so amazing. So I'm looking forward to smart contracts. I think we're going to see a lot more utility, and it's going to bring some of the big players in, and that's going to increase volume, and, rising tide floats all boats. But in terms of, do we need it for NFTs? The big thing is we don't need it, guys. Like Cardano NFTs don't ever need smart contracts. You need it on other platforms that don't have native assets, but we have native assets.
If you want to trade NFTs, then that makes sense to do a smart contract, right?
Like, yeah, absolutely. Getting trustless escrow and things like that, absolutely, it makes sense. Yep. But in terms of the NFTs themselves and the ownership of it, you don't want it to be locked up in a smart contract that is kind of weird and goofy. You want it just sitting on your wallet until you're ready to transfer it or auction it or whatever else. So I think that's what we're going to really see is, and we have all these great people that have built bots that are amazing programmers and developers in the community. And I can only imagine that they're going to take NFT smart contract auctions and purchase to the next level. Once they have those tools in their toolbox, it's gonna be really amazing to see where we go.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited for it. What we saw with Discord, the community behind NFTs wasn't waiting for smart contracts. We got people building, we got escrow services ready to go. It's amazing to see the evolution of this space. But yeah, I agree. We don't really need smart contracts for things like that, but it's more so of a nice to have. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting, guys. Everybody joining us in the chat today. Hello. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys do have questions about anything we're talking about, Spacecoins, JetChickens, fire away. I'm sure that Kyle and Adam would be able to help answer those pretty well. So if you do have questions, go ahead and let us know in the chat. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you are doing well. It looks like we do have one question. I'm going to see if I can read some of these out here from Michael saying, can you explain Spacecoins? So I guess, guys, if anybody wants to grab that one, just a basic question.
Yeah, man, I got this, man. All right, so my core project is a project called a Doja. I take it seriously. It's an IoT project, and to test tokens on the testnet, I minted Spacecoins, and the wallets didn't understand decimals, and there was no way to declare decimals at the time of registering tokens. So everything you mint is essentially like a Lovelace of Cardano. So for me to mint 12 billion tokens for a Doja, it really looks like 12 quadrillion tokens. It looks ridiculous. If I wanted to send you one token, it would look like you got a million. So that's how silly it would look. So I couldn't do anything with it. So I minted a Doja on March 1st, after the epoch change. It changed late in the day. I went and got dinner, and I was pissed off because I saw all these decimals and I couldn't do anything with it. So I smoked a fatty and I chilled out and I minted some Spacecoins. And then I gave it to a bunch of people. And then we spent the next week sharing them because everybody wanted Spacecoins. And then we had to publish a white paper because people wanted to know what Spacecoins was all about. And it's not serious at all. It's strictly an educational tool to, it's a low risk tool so people can understand how to work with native assets. And in doing that, the community kind of just adopted it. And it's kind of like our Dogecoin now. So there's no real utility. There's no real fundamentals. We are doing some cool shit though with it, like the Spacecoins faucet. What we do is you send 2 ADA, it sends you back 1.5 ADA plus 50 Spacecoins, because you need to send ADA for the, to meet the min UTXO. It's just the way it works. But the other 0.5 ADA, we burn a little bit of that in transaction fees, but then we give the rest to Save the Children Fund, right, Adam? We're still doing that, right?
Yeah. I think we're up to, the faucet has sent almost 62,000 Spacecoins in drips of 50 at a time. Then we've generated something like 350 ADA for donations to Pool Grow and raise project to help children in Africa and around the world. So yeah, I mean, that was the point, right? Nobody with Spacecoins has ever gotten rich. It's fun and educational was the purpose from the very beginning. And it helped us develop a lot of cool things that didn't exist. Because people said, well, how do I get these? We figured out how to break a Yoroi wallet real quick with sending too many tokens at once and melting the thing. We've discovered a lot just by having this asset that people can safely and easily move around in large quantities and play with. It forced the community to find a lot of weak spots and fix them and heal those missing links.
Yeah, it was just everybody's bored. It's the same reason why NFTs are super awesome. Everybody's crypto rich and bored. Like Spacecoins didn't cost anything, and it sounds cool. Everyone's like, I want some Spacecoins, and then so I mean that was really it. We just gave them away, and we weren't stingy with it. We gave a lot to a lot of people, and those people gave them away, and so that's why they were successful, because we wanted everybody to feel like there was some ownership there, and that doesn't happen. That opportunity doesn't happen very often for you to be able just to make a total poop coin and make it like be so loved. So that was something pretty special, Adam, that we did there.
Yeah.
Spacecoins is the #1 native asset on Cardano right now. Just so y'all know, still.
Always has been.
Hey, there's been some pumps. Yeah. Some people trying to come and what's what, but the organic,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys.
well,
You
when you
guys
look
have
at the volume and the number of transactions with Spacecoins, like, you
always
know,
on top.
yeah,
Yeah,
always
yeah.
going for number one all day, every day.
Going for number one. Oh yes. Hey, I think we got Rick McCracken in the house. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
We're going
Oh,
for
there we
number
go.
one.
Hey, brother. Hey, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with Spacecoins. It helped so many people learn about the native tokens, and it was really just a fun way to, you know, not have to risk a whole lot of money. Really, they were given away for free, so that's something that really kind of eased people nerves as far as like moving these assets and like learning the ropes about like, okay, what are all these things other than ADA on Cardano? You know, it's such a new concept at the time, but that's one
Right.
thing that I found was just really helpful with Spacecoins was just because it was given away for free. You know, it wasn't anything that people had to risk money on. It really did help the community learn about these native assets.
Yeah, no, and it was great. And you know, guys like Rick jumped in and he recognized the educational value for the community. And and Rick jumped right on in, send them out. And we had to spend 1.48148 ADA. I think that was the menu TXO for to send Spacecoins with every transaction we sent. So we all spent a whole lot of our own ADA just to send them to people for their first time. And so that was a lesson in characterizing how native assets flow. I learned a whole lot in just sending Spacecoins out to people. And then that's when, you know, we came up with the idea of the dust faucet, the prepaid to withdrawal. And, you know, I learned really early that that was going to be a common model of for business for native assets on Cardano, where you have your customers withdraw. And that kind of goes into, you know, the Hydrant stuff that Lath and I and you had a hand in, Adam, right? That we kind of just did a whip on the back end and got out for the community. If you didn't see that, Pritesh, that's wicked. I mean, Adam, maybe you can tell Pritesh what that was. I'm happy to, but that's a huge toy for the community, right?
Yeah. Is it Hydrant or Hydrant? I don't know. I'm not.
Hydrant. It's Hydrant. You're
Hydrant.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Hydrant was Kyle got some catalyst funding, and the goal was to help advance a doja by creating a platform and open sourcing it to basically kind of facilitate an IoT airdrop. So you're doing things with IoT, you're monitoring an address and then taking a webhook action downstream. So it's literally, and you know, if you haven't met KAIZN, go talk to that dude because he's awesome and was kind of the workhorse behind building the whole thing. But it really is a simple one-stop spin up a Docker image, and all of a sudden you can now monitor an address and take webhook actions. So it basically is like a Zapier for Cardano. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I've looked at it a little bit as the development was happening, but it can also drop tokens. So you can seed it up with your Doja or your Spacecoins or whatever and say, hey, when you take action X, we're going to drop some tokens on you, in addition to triggering these webhooks and sending you an email or doing whatever. So again, a lot of that really transformative interconnectivity that we need to really take blockchain from just being a distributed ledger to an actual real world functionality case.
Yeah, I needed to add certain things to the platform relevant to the token side, and I had just been watching what's been going down at token, right? And just the speed and the dedication, unbelievable. And so you know, talking about the project, you know, it was defined in a way where we could cut it and say, okay, how can we give something? Because if you know, you're taking Catalyst money, you know, it's good to do things for the community. That's kind of what it's about. And I wanted to be specific about what I was going to give to the community versus what I needed for the business. And I needed that portion for the business, but if we cut it in the right spot, we say, okay, now everybody can use this. And that's what we needed to do. And it very simple, it totally isolated. And Latisan had Lath had a bunch of good suggestions on how to modularize it, and brought a lot to the table in that regard. I gave him requirements, and he kind of knew what to do and how to architect. So we were very blessed in that regard. And that's very rare when you can kind of just say, okay, here's what I want executed, and it go get executed. And then done in a way where it's like, okay, cool. This is cool. This is very good. And so all it really is it's a standalone node. And you just lock it down like you lock down your, your stake pool node. Just make sure your application can only talk to it and whatnot. And you can set up wallets, and you can set them as payment wallets or drop wallets, and you can accept ADA payments. And then your application would basically set up a Hydrant job to look for an ADA payment of a certain amount, a customer payment of something. And then once it got it, logged the payment, it would then hit a callback to your server and you set the callback up. It's all custom. So you make it do whatever you want. And then the same thing with a drop asset, except for you're tracking an ADA payment and then just dropping an asset. You're not really doing a callback. So essentially you can enable ICOs, token sales, ticket sales, whatever you want. And you can just plug your own application into it. It's you don't even have to worry about that whole asset side. Now it's still rudimentary in regards to complete full around functionality. It's very sophisticated in what it does, but we've got to do some error handling. And then I want to get into doing a bunch of methods on receiving native assets, right? So then we can get real funky. But
yes, receive some Spacecoins.
Well, yeah, now you can credit your account, or you can trade and receive coins for other services and things like that, like receive native assets and callbacks, or receive native assets and drop a different asset. You could essentially potentially do individual swaps yourself, and then now you've got true potential dexes. But it's powerful because people can do a lot with it. So it's you can probably talk to that, Adam, too. It's not, we don't own this, we gave it to everybody.
Yeah, it's completely open source. It's up on GitHub, and that was the point is that's been something that I wanted to focus on, is how do we do all these cool things, make some money for ourselves, but then also give it back to the community, so that, because eventually either we're going to be gone, we're going to run out of ideas, we're going to get bored and go be on a boat in somewhere tropical or whatever, so if we build the toolbox, then the future generations, or the guys that are just getting started today, but they have a wicked cool idea, don't have to reinvent the wheel and go right back to square one again, so it's awesome to start to see that finally coming to fruition. And again, it's all this iterative building strategy. You get step one down and then go for step number two. And Spacecoins have been a huge part of that.
Yeah. That's like real utility for blockchain.
Well, the whole it's cascading disruption, right? That's really, if you look at what the whole Hydrant aspect is, it's all the token sophistication, right? That Adam's expertise was leveraged to put into that. And then you kind of roll that, right? What else is in there? You've got Block Frost API, right? So all Amerix works in there, right? And then you're bringing more innovation to it, and you're plugging pieces together. Now we've got a tool that people can just plop up with some, it's a Docker container. You spin up a VM and there you go. Lock it down, and you've got an isolated node that you can post jobs to, and you go in a GUI and you can set up all your wallets.
Oh, actually, Hydrant is nodeless. You are not actually running a local node. So that's what makes it so amazingly lightweight. It can run on something tiny, because of leveraging some tools like Block Frost and other things that we have in our toolbox. We can use all the data points that are available from a lot of these great community tools, and actually submit, sign, build, and submit transactions without ever touching a local node, which really makes it a heck of a lot more flexible and powerful. So you can go either way with it, but that's the really awesome part that Lath and I really kind of hammered on, was this is going to be super heavy. How do we get people, okay, now we have to give them a crash course on setting up and running a node and doing all of this, or can we get rid of the node entirely, because all we really need to do is submit transactions? And so I reached out to Merrick at 5 Binaries, who does Block Frost, and was like, hey, I see that you have this endpoint, like give me a little bit of guidance and we'll get there. And I think quite a few other projects are also using that as well. But yeah, it's really fun to be able to do all this stuff and not need to have a full scale local node if you don't want to, or if your system resources don't allow it.
Yeah, and to clarify what Adam's referring to, and he says node, he means a Cardano node running on a node. But for Hydrant, it's an isolated instance. You're going to need a VM instance and run that separately and get that just talking to your application and firewall down.
Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense, I guess, because one thing I was thinking about was like, what would be the process then of signing the transaction? But then I guess if you do have the node kind of happening in the background, that would be what's used to sign any type of transactions or.
Yeah. Your wallets are hot. Okay. And so you've got this node that's got an IP address that nobody knows, right? And so, and what you do is you firewall it the same way you firewall talking to your Cardano node, right? You would only have it allow your application's the only thing that can talk to it, that can post requests from. It's not responding to anything else, right? And then SSH from your IP. And then you see what I'm saying? So that's locked down, but those wallets are hot. So you don't want to. You obviously don't want to store stuff on there. You may want to rotate keys, that kind of stuff. You obviously, do the smart stuff, lock down the node, secure it. But yeah, they are hot. So that's something to be, aware of. You don't put huge amounts of money on there, but potentially I could see somebody's node getting taken and compromised while they try to do a big ICO. That's totally possible if their servers breach somehow. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't let that IP go out,
right. Nobody should ever know where Hydrant is in the first place, and it should be locked down fairly well, both with network level and software level firewalls. So, but you don't have a Cardano node instance running, but you spin up a Hydrant node and it does the thing. So it's really amazing, and it's come together in a fairly short period of time as well, which is really awesome. All of us just kind of combining our accumulated knowledge of being here and doing Cardano for a year, 2 years, however long we've all been in the space. And then just putting all of our heads together and coming up with it. And it was fast. It works amazing. So it's really exciting to see.
Nice. That's really cool. Yeah, it's interesting to learn about all that kind of stuff. There's so many cool things, Kyle, with your Adoja project. And then, it's just like, I'm learning about all these things. IoT has always been fascinating. So, cool stuff like that.
I don't know, man. I think we can feed a lot of people. That's what I'm starting to think about.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like just solving some power problems. We may have some water problems, but connectivity's coming globally. It's just a cost. If we can offset that with economic opportunity, that's not too hard to do. I don't know. I'm just thinking a lot about it. So
no, for sure. And the point you mentioned about Catalyst as well. It's like a decentralized VC in the sky. Just this honey pot of money just ready to be utilized and put to good use.
Yeah, well, it's up to us to make sure it gets put to good use too. So every Cardano holder has a responsibility to help us shape the ecosystem. So come vote.
Yeah. Make sure you register and vote and participate in Catalyst if you're not already. I think by this next round, we're going to have full hardware wallet support, it sounds like. And so you can securely and safely vote, no matter which wallet you use. But yeah, I mean, it's the classic thing. I'll talk voting for a minute because that's kind of where I started a while back. You can't complain if you don't participate, really. But it is really all in the power of us who hold data to get out there and choose which of these projects we want to support and which ones we don't, and then hold them accountable. So if you got those Catalyst funds and you don't deliver, then we need to ask those tough questions as well. So get involved, be part of it. We got a lot of things going with Catalyst and voting. And the numbers keep increasing every single time we do one of these things. We get more votes, more wallets, more everything. So it seems like the snowball's picking up speed, and that's really super exciting to see. We went from some pretty basic stuff in that first or second voting rounds to now we have all these community advisors and everything that are giving great feedback and helping people write proposals. So it's really, again, maturing rapidly and really exciting to be a part of and watch.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Fund 5, I think we're over $1 million now, right, for each funding round. I think it's something crazy like that, $1 million in ADA, or just like
I think 5 was $1 million, and didn't they say 6 is going to be like 4 or something? I mean, because the pot just keeps growing, right? And we took a little bit of a breather, and so hopefully, I don't know where those funds are all sitting, but hopefully they're delegated or staked somewhere, and also earning their 5% while we're waiting to spend those treasury funds. But in the meantime, it's just growing. Every single epic, we're giving more into that pot to fund these projects, and really, we as the Cardano community get to choose, like, what do we want to see built on Cardano. So like you said, it's like a VC in the sky, but we don't need to care about Cuban or any of these other guys and what their opinion is. We can just go and do it ourselves and tell them to pound sand. And that's really empowering, and it's really awesome. And one of the big things that I appreciated about Cardano and this community that we've been building.
Yeah. And part of all this is to show everybody who we are in a lot of ways, because there is a lot of money there. And whenever there's a lot of money, there's going to be a lot of competition for that money. And so part of this is creating a track record, right? Of trust, because at some point, we're going to want to build really cool things that impact in a lot of ways. So, when you do what we do, you can't really approach there's timing, and there's evolution, and there's opportunity. And as technology comes together, I want to do big things, and I know Adam wants to do big things. And so we're probably going to come in and ask for big money, and so it's a matter of kind of showing people what we can do as well, and what our capabilities are. Like JetChicken, that's us playing around. I mean, like, that's us playing around. Right. I'm not going to lie, that's all that is. And that's what we can do when we're playing around. So, I mean, I know Adam's here for a reason, man. I saw somebody ask a question in your Twitter, something along the lines of, was Spacecoins something the first transaction on Cardano, like real transaction? Or no, the first real, I guess, transaction I would consider in the Shelley era was Adam's voting with metadata. You're the first to put metadata on the chain, right?
Yeah.
I did like the first 5 metadatas on the chain, just playing around one night. I think it was like node version 1.18 or 19 or something.
Adam had an orgy,
and I'm just typing, and I'm just typing, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a transaction metadata or metadata JSON file. Like, what does that do? So then I drew up a JSON, and it failed, and I kept playing with it to where there's something, and it's honestly also already kind of vaguely ballot adjacent. I think I talked about space and Andromeda or something else, but it was the first Shelley era metadata transaction. And we were talking about Spacra and voting and stuff at that time. And so it was a no-brainer. Let's put it on the chain. Let's do these fun, cool things. So yeah, I mean, we've been here trying to hammer and stay on the kind of cutting edge of everything from the beginning. And so yeah, we kind of came up with that idea to listen for dust, watch an address, and then take an action. So, and that was to help people cast votes when manually compiling and attaching the JSON, which was your only option at that point, was a bit of a technical barrier to participation. So we said, how could we make this easier? And so we started there. We started building those pieces. And that's what it's always been about, is then how do we make the next one a little bit easier? How do we make the next thing a little bit easier? Like Kyle said, getting into Spacecoins and creating the faucet, because Kyle, Rick, myself, and I know a handful of other people, we spent hundreds, if not thousands, of our own ADA just sending tokens out to people to try to get them to learn about it. Like Kyle said, we were bored and crypto rich, for lack of a better term. So we're having some fun with it. And and so then we can, so then we started saying, okay, well, send the dust back, right? We started doing that kind of community training of, send back that 1.5 ADA. And then it became, well, why do we need to do that? We can just script something up to create that, and it just all has naturally evolved from there. So it's been a wild ride and really fun. And who knows, maybe we'll do something crazy with Spacecoins. Maybe somebody out there, one of you guys watching, or somebody we don't even know yet, is going to be like, hey, I can write this crazy cool smart contract that does something that I'm not even thinking about right now. And Spacecoins would be perfect for it. Well, maybe it'll come, but for right now, Spacecoins, share them, share them with your friends and family. For one, maybe you can talk them into getting a Cardano wallet in the first place. Maybe they don't have one yet. And for two, they're fun. And now we have a cool logo, an amazing logo attached, and the white paper is actually in the metadata. So every time you see those space coins, you can actually go get a link to the PDF by looking it up on Pool PM.
That was neat.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think that with the projects that you guys have built, JetChickens, Spacecoins, just a great way to learn about all the cool things with native assets on Cardano. So many things other than ADA now. We see all these different tokens, hundreds of these native tokens. So yeah, it's just a great way to learn about all the possibilities with blockchain, and looking forward to what's to come. I think that we're still in the early days of it. So it's exciting. But guys, I do have a couple questions. I wanted to make sure that we can do our best to answer these questions from the chat. So guys, thank you everybody who has been sticking with us. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We got a question from Richard. Richard was saying, can you show us some cool JetChickens? So Richard, it's going to mess up the stream. Unfortunately, I don't have it all set up for that in this live stream today, but we'll for sure be doing that in a future video. And then he asked maybe some info on how many different JetChickens and amounts per chicken are available. So I guess if we could talk a little bit about that.
Cool. Yeah. So what we did is we've got the policy ends at the end of the year. We're going to sell as many packs as we can. I think we've sold maybe 1,700 or 1,800 packs. Adam can probably clarify. There are the way the NFTs are done is there's chances for extreme rarities. So first of all, you get 10 fungible token cards in every pack. The fungibles have rarities from common, uncommon, rare, legendary, super legendary, Chad, and super Chad. And so a lot of those haven't even been found yet. I'm pretty sure, they're undiscovered. Adam can probably talk to that too. So that's the fungible side, and they're pretty cool. But the NFT side, there's 15 different chickens with 15 different backgrounds with a bunch of different kind of like necklace material icons or necklace icons or emblems. And then each of them has a series of 7 stats ranked 1 through 9, and there's different rarities there too. And each of them has a power color, and there's rarities there as well. And then there's a bunch of different descriptions that have, common, uncommon, or legendary attributes too. So there's a whole lot of ways for an NFT to be unique or rare. And it's volume based. So obviously the more volume we do, the more rare that those, more likely a rare card, a really rare card would exist. So the rarity is kind of scalable, if that makes sense, based on volume. So that's how we kind of designed it. It's unique. It hasn't really been done before. It's cheap. All things considered, 15A to get you 10 cards plus 2 NFTs plus 100 free space coins. So you can check it out at JetChicken.io.
Yeah, and if you want, KAIZN, maybe we can drop in the chat or into the description, but you can go to JetChicken.io/stats, STATS, and that will show you nice. The actual live mint numbers for rarities and on both the non-fungible JetChickens and the fungible playing cards. So like right now I'm looking at the page and our most common card is there's been 500 twig cards, out of 1,800 packs. So only 500 people have gotten those. And we have some that are only 1 or 2 in existence right now. But we didn't want to put a limit on it. This is really an exploration or a discovery in random number generating and really what can you do with an open-ended policy. Historically, if you were going to make a card set, you would have to mint 1,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 and guess and hope that you end up selling all your volume. But our run is going to be, it's going to last as long as it lasts, and whatever cards are going to coming out based on that kind of rarity percentage that we specified up front. So yeah, I think there's 123 fungible cards out there total, and I think we've gotten through about 100, maybe a little bit over 100 of them. But those are those super rares that might not ever exist on the chain, and we're 100% okay with that. There's not going to be any minting out. There's not going to be any manipulation. It's going to be what gets bought, and that's the way it goes.
I gotcha. So there's still some hidden gems out there in terms of these jet chickens.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Some of the best ones, and we do have our Telegram community. We have a Discord if you want to join in there, and a lot of people will share their really cool looking ones. I know that was one of the questions was, hey, show us some of these cool ones. But yeah, people are always sharing in the Telegram and the Discord channel.
Wait,
their
I got it.
So.
I got y'all covered. Hold on, I just changed my background.
Oh yeah, there we go.
The jet chickens, chicken fights are coming.
Let's get it.
Hey.
What?
Kyle, you're on point with the backgrounds today, man.
Let's go. There we go. Come hang out, guys. I got mad chickens. I'm the cheeseburger Eddie of chickens. I got all kinds of chickens, and they're bad.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. That's too good. That is too good. All right, let's see what we got. Guys, great questions today. Thank you all so much. It's been a lot of fun. Let me see if we can answer a couple more of your guys' questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. I really enjoyed talking everything jet chicken, Spacecoins, super cool. Yeah. NFTs on Cardano, fungible tokens, just amazing to see all the cool stuff. Let me see here. Are the NFT jet chickens and the fungible token jet chickens two separate packs, or can you get both in a pack?
No. So the way it works is you buy one pack, you're going to get 10 fungible tokens, 10 cards, playing cards, right? Also, you're going to get 2 NFT jet chickens. These are these wild chickens behind me. So you'll get one of these chickens with a bunch of stats times 2. All right. So 2 NFT jet chickens plus 10 fungible cards plus 100 free space coins, man, for 15 ADA. Buy a pack. Buy 10. Buy a million. Come on. Jet chicken.
Guys, get that Kaizen chicken. Get that Kaizen chicken.
Yeah. Well, that's actually an interesting point. I don't think we really touched on it, but I'd like to dip into it. And that is that, we took our time with this. For one, it took a while to get all this art together. It took a while to come up with all things like Drippy Butt, like you don't just come up with that overnight. That's gold. Right. But what we noticed, we were watching other NFT drops happen. I was helping to scaffold some of those. And then we started to see, oh no, like some of the wallets lock up if you get too many different tokens on there. So originally it was going to be, you're going to get 12 NFT cards. But then we made that pivot and decided to go with fungible tokens so that these kind of more commons where somebody might have 500 twigs in their wallet at one point eventually isn't going to lock up and cause problems. And that way it doesn't create some sort of an artificial scarcity for those twig cards because I have number 001 and you have number 037. They're all the same. They're exactly the same as a standard Pikachu from a Pokemon pull or something else. They can be swapped and they're a digital asset that's never going to degrade. There's no quality of mint, near mint, or used or heavily used. So that's why we made that decision to go with 10 fungible tokens and then the 2 NFTs so that at least that your chickens are world unique and they are checked every single time before we mint them. We generate all those images on the fly thanks to the code that Kyle put together. So we generate them, we check that they're unique. If they're not unique, we throw it in the bin and we get a new one. But every single one is unique and minted on demand. So it's really exciting.
Very, very cool. Yep, that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, guys. Well, we've been talking everything jet chicken, space coins. So pumped for the chicken fights. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, chicken fights are coming.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up for today. Kyle and Adam, guys, thanks so much. You guys know you're welcome on the channel anytime. I'm looking forward to all the cool stuff that you guys have coming up. It's exciting. It's exciting to see everything that you guys are working on.
Oh, thanks, Ben. You too.
You. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, guys. Everybody in the chat, thanks so much. We will see you guys next time. Cheers.